This episode of the Final Furlong podcast is brought to you by the 2024 Weatherbys Cheltenham Festival Betting Guide. Order now to secure your copy and use the bonus code FF24CF to get £5 off your purchase. It's the complete guide to the festival with every fact, stat and trend covered to help you make the most informed bets throughout the best week of the year. To get £5 off your purchase of the print and digital editions as well as the print and digital bundle, use our exclusive bonus code FF24CF at checkout at weatherbyshop.co.uk.
Welcome back to the Final Furlong podcast, and we are joined by a man who will hopefully be tasting, touch wood, his first Cheltenham Festival success this year in 2024. Top trainer Fergal O'Brien, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
A friend of mine who works in racing media was saying to me today, it's a manic time, Emmet. It's crazy. You never get a chance to stop. And just when you think you've figured out the champion hurdle, Constitution Hill goes and does that. And I was saying, if you think it's mad for us, imagine how bonkers it is for the trainers. So just how manic a time is it for you, Fergal?
It's not so much manic. Look, it's a great time because we live so close to Cheltenham, and it's that huge buzz of things picking up and starting to happen around about the place, So for me, and I've been going to Cheltenham for nearly 30 years now, and it's just a fantastic place to be. But so it depends on how you interpret manic, but it's a great time. We had about 30 journalists at the yard yesterday, and Monday night I was thinking, I got all these people coming tomorrow now. It's a work day, but they're coming for a reason. They haven't been there before now. And when everyone started to arrive, it reminded me of my days at Naunton with Nigel, and when we had all those good horses like Imperial Commander and the likes of them, and so it's where you want people to be coming. You want people to be coming because they're talking about your horses. So we had a great day, so it was fantastic.
And the fact that you've been part of Cheltenham Festival success with Nigel, with Imperial Commander and all those other good horses as you were talking about, I mean, that obviously gives you a taste of what you want. You know that you can achieve it. You've seen it done. But what would it mean to you to be in the winner's enclosure in your own right?
Oh, it would mean everything. It's a box that we need to tick, and especially living so close and I suppose being having a lot of horses and lot of winners. So but we need to be having those Cheltenham Festival winners. And look, I've always said it, you can look back at any podcast or anything I've done, is that I always say if it's not this year, hopefully it'll be next year. And I do feel we definitely got the ingredients. We got great owners, great horses, great staff, and a fantastic facility to train. So there's no reason why we can't have festival winners. So hopefully, when our time comes, it will come.
Well, for those who are watching this on YouTube, we have the background of Cheltenham, the aerial view, playing behind Fergal and I. And this is really impressive forward thinking from you. You've gone to the sales, you've recruited all these top owners, and you've bought 2 top-class racehorses specifically designed to win on day 3 of Cheltenham at the new course. It's just bizarre that your 2 best chances, arguably your strongest ever chances, are both going to run on the Thursday. Let's talk about Crambo first of all. How has his preparation been going since the epic win over Paisley Park at Ascot?
Yeah, fantastic. And I've never met any secret that Crambo trains Crambo. He's got a little calendar and he's in his stable and he's ticking off the days to Cheltenham. He was very tired after Ascot, so that ruled out really having to go to the Cleve, and we wouldn't have got him there in time. So it was, owners were on side to go straight there. And interestingly enough, actually, we didn't buy Crambo at the sales. He was bred by Noel Feely and Jared Sullivan, and Jared sold half to Chris Giles. So he was a homebred, and we were just very lucky to have him.
And Jared Sullivan's had tremendous Cheltenham success, and obviously has been around racing for a very long time. But having supportive owners like that, like Willie Mullins, Paul Nichols, he's been around a lot of top trainers. You can't make it in the game unless you've got top owners like that.
No, and Chris as well. He'd Stay Away Fay last year, and he had a great double on Stay Away Fay and Crambo when he won the at Sandown, and then Stay Away Fay went on and won in the Pretemps. I think it was. Yeah, was it the Pretemps? Stay Away Fay, yeah.
The Albert Bartlett, the potato race.
The Albert Bartlett. Yeah. So Chris had a great double that day at Sandown when we won the EBF final with Crambo. And look, it was lovely Christmas. It was lovely to see Chris and Jared at Ascot. We had a great day. It was just before Christmas. Their families were there, and it was one of those really good days. And so Crambo provided us with that day, and I'm very grateful for that.
To my eye, he looks to have all the attributes you need for a stayer. He looks like he's going to be a chaser next season, unless of course he wins this race, in which case perhaps it'll be multiple stairs hurdles. More on that to come in a second. But he stays well. He's got plenty of class. And I think he'll improve for the new course at Cheltenham. Anything there you disagree with?
No, nothing at all. I think he has all the attributes. And the one attribute he has that you just can't train is that will to win. And he went toe-to-toe with Paisley Park, who was just a warrior, real warrior at Ascot. We've headed Paisley Park. Thought we're jumping the last. I thought, well, he'll go and win the race now. Perfect timing by Johnny Burke, and he'll go in his race. But Paisley Park wasn't laying down. He came back, went past Crambo, and I thought, oh, we're going to be second. He's run well, never mind. And Crambo just put his ears back, and he was going away at the line. So that was lovely to see. To have that tenacity to go past an old warrior. It's almost like getting off the canvas and winning the boxing match. So he was fantastic.
I know that there's memes of like De Niro, Pacino, and Morgan Freeman, like the owl fellas strolling through when they're showing the Cleve hurdle of all the old boys of Dashel Drasher and Paisley Park. But the fact that Paisley Park was able to go and almost beat Noble Yates the other day, like that's a boost to that form. That's proving that this form is still very high level. Even those who are trying to downplay Tihupu, the horse who beat him, Sartor Burley, went on to win the Grade 1 at Aintree, and Dashel Drasher's come out this season and won one of the key trials as well. So they might be old, but they're still all performing really well.
They're just like those, old good footballers, or like say boxers. It's it's not what they do. They just know where to be and how to race. And they over 3 miles is attritional, and they'll take Crambo to places he hasn't been before. So he's going to have to be on his A game. He's going to have to improve from Ascot, and hopefully he can. And like you say, I'm actually hoping that the new course at Cheltenham will bring out a bit more in him.
That was good ground. He acts on heavy, so ground really isn't an issue to him.
No, he's very versatile. He's just Crambo. He just turns up and does his job. And like I say, if we get him there in tip-top form, whatever beats him will deserve to beat him. Whatever wins the race and beats him will have known they've been in a race. If Crambo's in the same form or a bit better than he was at Ascot, then he'll give us everything. So fingers crossed.
Do you feel he's improved since the Ascot run?
I wouldn't say he's improved. He's very difficult to tell because he doesn't do a stroke at home. But
he's like me.
Yeah, he's a bit like all of us. Yeah, I'd say he's improved. I don't know. I think he's got a confidence from Ascot. I know it sounds a bit mad to say, but yeah, I think he knows he's the top dog in the yard at the minute, and he sort of. We had the press there yesterday. He stood up like a king to have his picture taken, and then when he didn't want his picture taken, he started to rear up and stuff. This was after a fairly hard bit of work. So I definitely think he's improved in his own mind. Ability wise and fitness, he was A1 for Ascot. But I think in himself, he's definitely grown half a hand anyway. That's for sure.
No more pictures. I like that. Who do you see as your big danger?
Obviously, Gordon's too. Honestly, you just cannot write Paisley Park and Dasher off. Nobody Yates, if that's where he's going. I think they're all dangerous. And I like I said yesterday at the sort of press days, I very seldom tend to worry about other people's horses. My job is to get Crambo there in the best form we can get him in on that day on Thursday the 14th, and hopefully he'll do the job for us.
Dysart Enos announced herself with that devastatingly impressive win at Aintree last year, or I should say earlier this year. She's absolutely bolted up in that, and she's been very impressive over hurdles so far. Now, you could argue it's been pretty easy for her. She's been a long odds-on favourite, but crucially, she doesn't have the £5 penalty, and she's had a sighter of Cheltenham as well, unlike the two Irish mares who have not been to Cheltenham, and both will carry penalties.
Yeah, look, I think I was very grateful to the owners that they let us run at Cheltenham in December, because it was never the plan. The plan was always to get our first run, which happened to be the Huntington, and then was to go into Newbury for the listed race. When we realised that we were going to get a penalty for that race, then for those races, then they were happy to try and avoid it. At that time, you just don't know how much other horses are going to improve from Ireland, or even the English horses. I think Nigel's horse that was meant to run against us at Huntington didn't, but won at Newbury, and Jeremy Scott's horse, I think it was second to us at Aintree. I think she's a lovely mare. She's really, really nice. Sad to hear that you'd have to double check this, but I think Queen's Gamble is out, which is a shame for all those connections, because it's when you race, you want to race against the best, and I think I think round Cheltenham, Queen's Gamble would have had a very big shout. Harry Durham's having a great season. Johnny Burke's riding very well, and I think she would have been a big player in the race as well. So, but anyway, she's out. So, but I think I think the what I'm hoping for is that she'll have the speed for Gordon's horse for Brighter Days Ahead. Who has been running over 2.5. I would love if this was on the old course. I mean, she has won round the new course when she went there in Cheltenham, and I think it was important for her to go there and feel and have a walk around that paddock and feel the atmosphere of Cheltenham. Yeah.
That is a real shame about Queen's Gamble. Harry's obviously having a terrific time of things, and it's quite emotional that Oliver has stepped aside and joined him as assistant trainer, and that his best horse from last year has joined Harry and done so well. So that is a real shame. But you could only beat what's put in front of you, and you've still got Willie and Gordon to worry about. Just on the new course, we've talked about this a few times. The new course is this is almost an overall point to be making, but how she's going to be suiting the track. The old course is very much speed emphasis. The new course is very much stamina emphasis, and that stamina emphasis will help out Brighter Days Ahead. It'll help out Jade de Grugy as well. But given the fact that she has been to the Cheltenham and been to the new course, it shouldn't be a problem for her.
No, and I think today, look, we can talk all day about Huntington and Doncaster. She turned up and did what she had to do, but I think that was a very good run at Cheltenham in December. She travelled and she jumped and she did everything against the boys that you'd want her to do, and she got great experience for it, and I was delighted with the way she came up the hill and beat a very good horse of Harry Fry. So yeah, so look, again, we go there. We got 2 weeks to go. This is the hardest 2 weeks, when you'll read, Constitution Hill yesterday, Harry Durham's horse, you just every morning you go in, you're slightly on tender hooks because you just want to get there. You want to get there in the best shape you can. And so fingers crossed that's where will happen for us.
Are you a ratings man?
Yeah, to a certain degree. Yeah.
Okay, so on Racing Post ratings, you're fourth, because the Racing Post obviously are very Irish biased. They're not, but apparently they are. Time form, however, you are top rated with a P. You've got 154 for Dysart Enos ahead of Brighter Days Ahead, 153. Jade de Grugy, 149 with a big P. That bodes very well, especially given the fact that you don't have to carry a penalty and they have to concede weight to you. Yeah,
and look, hopefully, on Thursday the 14th, and if she goes and does the job and she wins by a length or a half a length or a neck, it'll have been a fantastic job by everyone at home to get her there without that penalty and on the back of 3 wins as well. So that's all we can hope for. We're trying to give ourselves the best chance, and carrying 5 pound lengths against any horse gives you a better chance. So that's what we've tried to do. And like I said, very grateful for the owners, because none of them could get to Cheltenham in December, and they let us go on with the plan that we had.
How does Paddy feel about her?
Paddy loves her, never rides her at home. Tom Broughton's very important to her. She's quite a hot mare, and like I said, her and Crambo couldn't be two opposites. So you on a day-to-day basis, you dance to Dysart's tune. Crambo, he'll do whatever you want him to do, and he'll do it with a smile on his face. But Dysart slightly trickier, so Tom Broughton always rides her. And so, but day to day, she's pretty routine as long as you keep her in that routine. But if she's having a quiet day or not such a good day, Tom knows her and he'll go and do something else with her. He won't do 2 up the hill, he'll do 1 up the hill and come and do 3 on the round, if she's just not feeling it. So, so Tom's very important to her.
And once they leave the paddock, that's your job done. There's nothing else Fergal O'Brien can do. So having the class and the experience of Johnny Burke and Paddy Brennan, who at Cheltenham are not going to they're not going to do anything stupid. They're not going to have their horse in the wrong position, and they'll time their runs to perfection as well. That's got to be a massive weight off your shoulders.
Huge, no disrespect to Conor Brace, who did, I said it at Ascot. Crambo didn't turn up at Ascot. The Finnish article, Conor was a big part of making Crambo. But I just felt on the day and after Haydock that, to give myself the best chance of going forward with Crambo, that, Johnny has ridden in more of those big races, was riding, Conor's done fantastic for us this season as well. He's ridden us plenty of winners. But I just felt that Johnny was in a better place, more experience. He's 6 or 7 years older than Conor. And I felt that we I needed to tick every box. So, look, I took a bit of stick for that. But at the same time, I'm there to train the horse and do the best we can. And I just feel like I said, when you're doing this job, you're just trying to tick as many boxes as you can. And that was a box that I felt needed ticking. And I felt Johnny'd been in riding out for us. He'd had the experience. So that's why I went with him.
It's not show friends, it's show business. And I have no doubt that in 6 years' time, Conor Brace will be replacing some other young fella and he'll be getting stick for doing that. That's just the way it goes.
That's just this. It's the name of the game. Like I say, Conor's been very good on Springtime Promise. Won a lovely Grade 2 for us there a couple of weeks ago and give her a fantastic ride. So, I'm delighted for him. And that he's still part of the team, so. But, it would mean a huge amount to give Paddy another winner at Cheltenham. It's what he gets out of bed for every morning. It's what drives him. And if we could give him another Cheltenham winner, that would just be that would probably make my career.
Oh, that's a big statement. I'd love to see him win. I really like Paddy. I know he gets a bit of stick for the riding style, but Paddy never has his horse in the wrong position. Well, he does, but he never has his horse in the wrong position. You always know when you've backed a Paddy Brennan horse, that horse will be in the right position and he will make the move at the right time as well. And that's a crucial part. I don't really care how you look in the saddle. I care about when you're going to make the right move at the right time. Is it possible the Springtime Promise will go? Will she run?
If it came up soft or worse, then yeah, she could go. And if she did, she'd be a player. I know that, after Huntingdon, Harry Skelton was couldn't understand how he got beat because they really fancied their horse at Huntingdon, and nothing went right for her that day. She went and she had to do it ugly at Sedgefield. But Harry said to Conor afterwards, he doesn't feel too bad about Huntingdon after we beat him at Sandown. Again, on a very, very smart horse of Darren Yates's. She's just a very, very tough mare. Nothing flash about her. She's just strong, solid mare. It was a great buy by Sally and Neil O'Donnell. Wasn't expensive, and you say she won as a Grade 2 in a big pot at Sandown a couple of weeks ago. And she turned up at Cheltenham on soft ground. She wouldn't be a million miles away. She'll come up that hill, and for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think we could be sleeping on her. If she gets her ground, she'd be very, very interesting, and certainly from an each way perspective. But you're right, the ground would be key. Just 2 more to ask you about. Moon d'Orange. I was asking John McConnell about this horse earlier in the season. So transfer to you, 1 first time out for you. Is he going to take up one of his engagements at Cheltenham?
Look, I think in an ideal world, if it dries out a bit, I think he should go to Sandown for the EBF final. It's what he's qualified for. He's still a novice. And I think that's probably the best chance of him winning a big pot. We'll also could go to War there as well on nice ground. So, yeah, that's where I'd be going. I've got to speak to the owners, obviously, and see what they would like to do. I know that they don't want to go to Cheltenham to be an also ran. So it could be a difficult ask in the novices, and maybe in one of the handicaps he could have a go, but not sure how well handicapped he is. After market raising. But so fingers crossed. Yeah, look, he's a lovely horse, and what he will be is he'll be a lovely chaser. So that's what we're really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what John was saying about him as well. But I think he'd be better suited to racing in Britain. And last one is Autonomous Cloud. Ella McNeil will be back on the show soon. Max McNeil's been having success. Terry Warner's been having success. The two combined. Will they be headed to Cheltenham, though, with Autonomous Cloud?
It's an option, but again, I would much rather run him at Utoxeter. He's got great course form at Utoxeter. Second there a couple of times. He's 1-2 there. And I'd like to go for the Midlands Nationals, where I'd love to go. But again, it'll be down to, where the owners want to go. All I can do is advise. But I think Utoxeter on the Saturday would be where I'd be going.
Well, if Cheltenham hasn't gone to plan, if the tips have been struggling, then at least we know we've got a horse that we can lean on in the Midlands National a day later. Because it didn't go to plan in the Welsh Grand National, but that couldn't possibly have been his true running. He'd been in terrific form in the lead up to that, and the ground that day was awful.
Yeah, and Paddy just said, he got a massive stride. He travelled very, very free for that ground and that trip, and it's a nutritional race. And I think it's one of those that we just put a line through and we start again. So we've been training for this, this week, either Cheltenham or the Midlands National. So fingers crossed he'll turn up and give a good account of himself, whichever one it is.
Well, the good news is there can't be an Irish handicap plot job where Davy Russell is whinging and moaning about the weight that he's been handed for the Pertemps, only to go and chin you on the day, because they're all off level weights. And in fact, you're getting weight in the mare's hurdle. So hopefully Gordon won't be complaining and then crushes everybody on the day. But I really hope that you're successful on day 3 at Cheltenham. I think you will be. To be honest, I'm with Tiapu in the stairs hurdle, but I'm with you in the mare's hurdle, and looking forward to seeing how you get on.
Great job. Thanks very much. Thanks for having me on.
Best of luck, Fergal. Thanks very much for listening, watching the Final Furlong podcast. If you'd like more Cheltenham content, subscribe right now to hear more and to see more on the Final Furlong podcast. We'll talk to you again very, very soon. Look after yourself and each other. God bless.